This video is an overview of shop floor control. The shop floor control module tracks everything that is manufactured at your company. It also records what materials and hours are issued to work orders, what is scrapped on work orders, and what finished goods are completed. As you can see from this slide, the flow looks like this. First, work orders have to be created. Materials are issued to those work orders. Materials are scrapped during production. Labor hours need to be recorded. And finally, finished goods are reported as completed. The last step of the process
And the first thing we want to look at is the status for changes. You can set this up in your manufacturing constants, a status at which work orders can no longer be changed. Typically, this is your manufacturing accounting status. Once it has hit manufacturing accounting and has hit accounting, you don't want any changes made to the work order typically after that. Processing program. So we'll go ahead and close these. We're back to interchange work order. And you'll notice now if we go into our parts list, it's been re-added. I could at any time change my parts list here. Let's say maybe I didn't have enough of item 2206 and I was only going to use 4 of those, but optionally I might be able to use item 2208 maybe, and I might need one of these. So let's say that this item can replace this item. So you have all of these options. You could also delete a line if for any reason you didn't want to do that. You would just check it, click delete, and click OK, and then that line would no longer be showing. So you can make
so an overview of configurator. We talked about some traditional approaches, which was essentially unique end item numbers or appended item numbers. In configurator, the item number itself is no longer unique. What is unique is the specific configuration of that item as ordered by the customer. So in other words, the combination of the options and features that the customer requested. Typically, when you have configured, when you're in a configured environment, companies often have one configured item per product line. So using an example of Ford, and they make automobiles, obviously. You can think of the model car as a configured item. So we have a Ford Probe, we have a Ford Fiesta, we have a Ford F-150. Ford doesn't keep unique end item numbers for every possible combination of those vehicles, but rather they have the model number, and then the customer is free to request what options and features they would like for their specific model. Using the F-150 example, maybe the customer wants a double cab, maybe they want the leather interior, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
The ECR and ECO menus are identical. They contain the same programs, just different versions and processing options to support those different order or document types. So if you want to have both processes, that is 2 review and approval processes, you can set up the processing options for both the ECR and the ECO applications shown here. Notice that the only distinguishing application is that engineering change population program at the bottom of the ECO. The ECO revisions inquiry program's processing options consist of identifying versions for those 2 programs, as well as leaving the order type field blank to have the EN order type default. And the engineering change population R30510, where below we see 2 screenshots for the 2 final versions that are available for this application. The left-hand one is the one that pertains to the ECO bill of material population final version, and the one to the right is for the populate engineering change final. Now back to the processing options for our engineering change population program, where we have our item flash messaging. So when you put a code here, the system will display whatever message goes with that code when resetting the flash message based on outstanding engineering change orders. And so if you leave this blank, then no item flash message will display when users inquire on this item.